Hello and welcome back to the Small Print Podcast with your host Elise. I blog at rulerreader.wordpress.com.
And I'm Dawn, and I blog at bangbangbookblog.com.
And if you've listened to our podcast before, you'll know that we did a TBR update back in November where we kind of went over what we were looking forward to in 2017 in terms of like debuts and standalones and new series. So we're going to give an update on how that list is going, how our reading has been progressing or not. And then we're going to go through some more books that we're looking forward to in 2017 because I think we only did up to like a certain time period. So let's get started.
All right.
All right, let's do our update on the debuts so far.
Okay.
I had The Book Jumper by Mathilde Glaser listed and A List of Cages by Robin Rowe, neither of which I've gotten around to reading yet, so I don't have too much to say about that.
Okay. Well, I had Poison's Kiss by Brianna Shields. I do not have authors' names on my list here. That I gave a 3. It had a good promise, but the main character didn't ask enough questions, and I think there's some controversy because I want to say they're from the Middle East, and the author is not, and so some people kind of took offense to some of the stuff that she wrote. The other debut I wanted to read was Daughter of the Pirate King, and I did read that one, and I gave that a 4. That was a pretty good book. Pretty solid main character. Romance was pretty good. So I'll be reading Daughter of the Siren Queen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For standalones, I had, I had Daughter of the Pirate King as well. Haven't gotten around to reading that. Still on my TBR. Had Afterwards by Jen Matthew. I have that book, so I'll probably eventually read it, but it's been published for a while, so that's going to be probably shelved. Bad Blood by Demetria Lunetta was another one I was going to read. We were trying to get her to come to our library, which is probably why I kind of had that in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't end up happening, so I'm not sure. I'll probably read it. I like her. I liked In the End, or In the After. In the End was the second book that I wasn't as crazy about. But the first one was great. And then I had Goodbye Days by Jeff Zentner, which I did end up reading. And for specific thoughts on that, you can go and listen to our podcast that we did about a month ago.
Yeah.
We had a good time reading that book. He's a good writer. He's a solid character developer, a good plot. That was it. I think I gave it a 4. So, yeah.
My standalones, I also read Goodbye Days, and once again, you can go over and listen to our podcast. I gave that a 4. History's All You Left Me, I gave that a 4. I just thought that was just too depressing. It's just, I can't take all the death. Adam Silvera. The Upside of the Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, I gave that a 4. It was okay. I enjoyed Simon better. I just think that this book was about a 16-year-old girl, and that's just, I'm not the audience for that book, and so I found the main character a little boring, but that's just me. I think teens will like it. Fall Boys and Dizzy in Paradise by Jandy Nelson is not out yet. And I read Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Latham. Last podcast, I couldn't remember her first name.
Oh, yeah.
That I gave a 3. I found it a little boring and really predictable.
That's sad. It's the worst. Okay, for series beginners, I had Roseblood by A.G. Howard. She is most noted for her Splintered series. Roseblood is a retelling of... It's not a retelling. It's a, like, reimagining, expansion of the Phantom of the Opera, which is one of my favorite stories. Unfortunately, it was really just... It fell flat. I found the main character extremely annoying, really obnoxious. It's one of those where, like, she's so special, but everyone can see it but her. But as you're reading, you're kind of like, I don't think she's that special. She's kind of just obnoxious and spoiled and dumb. And I just didn't get the, like, romance that she was trying to set up between her and some characters. There was some slut-shaming. There was a lot of things that were troubling with that book, so I did not rate that very highly. My next was Gilded Cage by Vic James. Fortunately, that book was great. I think I gave that a flat 5. That book
you
was
got 5 for the year?
Dying. I did. I think that's my only... No, I have another one where I gave it a 5. Yeah, Gilded Cage was great. I think we did a podcast on that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, book 2 is out this year. So definitely go listen to our podcast because that was a good time. That book is great. And then that was it for me for series beginners.
For me, I had Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I ended up giving that a 2.5.
Thanks.
The plot was just too convoluted. She was just trying too hard with that one. The next one I had was X-Files Next Origin. Good Lord, I have X-Files Origins on my notes. That's not right. That one was by Cami Garcia. I gave that a 4. That's a reimagining the X-Files as Scully and Mulder are teenagers. And it was a solid mystery. I liked it. I'm probably not going to read the Scully one because that did not get good reviews. So I probably won't read that one, even though I really love Scully.
Is that also by Cami Garcia?
No, that one's by Marbury.
Oh, okay.
Gilded Cage, that Elise already mentioned. I gave that a 4.5, not quite a 5, but it was very good. Warcross has not been published yet. That's by Marie Lu. Strange the Dreamer, I gave a 4.5. That book is great. Highly recommended. And The Bone Witch, I did not read because, as I said in the previous podcast, it has a low rating on Goodreads, and I just don't have time for crappy books.
Indeed. All right. Book 2 and 3. This is our last category before we move on to our new TBR. I read Crown of Wishes by Roshni Chokshi, which I mentioned I was really excited about. I gave that one a 5 as well. That book was even better than The Star Touch Queen. So if you read The Star Touch Queen, liked it, and want more, definitely go read this one. In the other podcast, I couldn't tell if it was like a continuation of the first story or not. It is not. It is a companion novel, so don't expect the same characters or plot because it's completely different, which is a good thing. So I gave that a 5. That was a great book. And then last was Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. Haven't gotten around to reading that one yet. I still feel ambivalent about it. I'm definitely not going to read that, but I just have other stuff. Yeah, I haven't either. I just have other stuff to read, so I'm getting to that first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My first book 2 was The Great Pursuit by Wendy something or other. Higgins?
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten to that one yet. And my other one was The Cursed Queen, which is book 2 of The Imposter Queen, and I thought this was a duology. And I was really upset about that because you don't get to see the Imposter Queen and the Cursed Queen, which I really loved her in the first book, and we don't really get to see her. And I was really upset about that. I gave it a 4, but I didn't like the main character in The Cursed Queen. So fortunately, there is a book 3. Thank goodness.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm excited for book 3, which I did not put on my list. I don't think that comes out until next year.
I don't think so. I think that's a 2018.
Yeah, so
because I didn't see it on my list either.
Yeah.
Okay. So, moving on to our updated TBR. This is books that are kind of published mid to end 2017. We're going to do debuts, then standalones, then series beginners, and lastly, books 2 and 3. So, for debut, my first is Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lana Popovich. I just downloaded this on Edelweiss, so I will be reading that in the coming month. And it just sounds really good. It's about a couple of sisters who they were born in like Montenegro, and they are, supposed to be these magical siblings. And their mom's a little crazy, and they're supposed to be able to gleam, which is like manipulating magical elements. But of course, there's some conflict having to do with the crazy mother. And it just sounds interesting, and I started reading it, and the writing kind of reminds me of Steve Otter, where it like could be read entirely metaphorical or not, and I really like that, so I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. I don't have any debuts, so you can keep going.
Oh, okay. I only have one more. The last one is Song of the Current by Sarah Tolzer. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that last name. This one, sorry, I expected you to have some books here. Let me look it up really quick.
I told you I didn't have any.
It just sounded good. Go look it up on Goodreads. I'm not going to sit here and try to find the description. Well, it's about a girl who, like, her family is in charge of ferrying things back and forth on this river, and then, like, I think her family is being asked to ferry something that they know will get them in a lot of trouble, and she has to, find a resolution. That's a really brief, surface level plot synopsis, so don't go by my word. Look it up on Goodreads.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we're going on standalones, and my first one is Invictus by Ryan Groudon, and this is a time travel book, and I think he goes all over the place. So I think he goes to Gladiators, and then he goes.
See, I didn't put this in
forward.
standalones because I think this is going to be one of those Daughter of the Pirate King situations wherein
She said it's a standalone on Twitter.
she did.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take your word for it because you corrected me last time. Well then, yeah, I'll have to change that. Go ahead.
I'm done.
I'm like, there's no way that can be. That plot is intense.
It's probably 1 million pages.
All right. My first standalone is All the Crooked Saints, which is the new book from Maggie Stiefvater. This one's also kind of a family-based novel. It's about 3 cousins who are quote-unquote saints. And again, is this real? Is this metaphorical? And they live in this tiny desert city of Bicho Raro in Colorado. And it follows their lives as saints. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
I'm reading it right now.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Have you gotten farther?
I have,
okay.
Yes. I'm about 50% through right now, and I'm kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I like it.
Good.
Yeah, I like the writing, of course. Maggie
Yeah.
Stiefvater is a great, great writer. So reading the book, even if you're not really sure, like, what exactly, you can't really grasp too much on, like, what is happening per se, but you can. Just read it. It's really cool. It's really cool. So, yeah.
I finished, and I kind of don't have, well, I have opinions, but with a lot of Stiefvater, I've only read one series by her, and that was the Raven Psycho series, but I needed someone to talk to it with me about it, so I'm waiting for Elise to finish before I give my opinion. But there's been a controversy on Goodreads saying that it's racially insensitive.
But this is, I have to interject here and say that the people who are bringing the rating down have not read the book yet.
Yeah.
They're just going by, oh, she didn't have any diverse characters except Henry in the Raven Boy series. Now she's going to write a diverse character series, and so everyone's like, she can't do it, blah, blah, blah. They're just being a little rude.
I personally think that if your main, or not your main characters, but if you are writing a book about a race that is not yours, it becomes a problem when you stereotype your characters. So if you are writing about Black people or Spanish people, their stereotypes tend to be lazy, uneducated, savages. If you're writing that, then it becomes insensitive. Mm-hmm. But if they're just brown and their story happens to be about people who are brown and there's no stereotypes, I don't find it offensive at all.
Yeah. I'm not getting that from this book.
No, not in any way.
She does tie, they are Mexican, and she ties them to, like, sainthood, but I don't think that, like, tying a Mexican to the Catholic Church or any kind of, like, religion would be considered stereotypical. I think that would be important to their culture.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking up on anything that's blatantly, would warrant a 1-star rating.
No.
So, yeah.
Okay, that was next on my list. So.
Okay. My next book, which is also one that Dawn has already read, it's A Face Like Glass by Frances Hardinge. I'm going to give this author another try because I didn't really care for The Lie Tree too much, but she is a good writer, which is another one of those, like, the story is just not there for me, but the writing is good. This is about, like, an underground city called Caverna. How are you pronouncing it?
Caverna.
That's
boring. But
boring.
don't go by me.
Caverna. But it's like, it's this really crazy place where, like, cheese is magical and, like, wine, I don't know, makes you hallucinate and stuff like that. Yeah. And the people don't have any expressions on their face. And they, like, pay to have someone teach them expressions. So when this girl shows up who has, like, this wide range of expressions, she has to wear a mask. And that makes her dangerous, which is a crazy concept. I love the concept.
Yeah.
So, really excited to tuck into that. Haven't started that yet, but I will be soon.
All right. So, my next one is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I'm currently reading. I'm almost done. And I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. Yes. I wanted to love it.
That cover is awesome. And that's also on my list. That's my next book, too.
I won't say anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. Well, Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue was next on my list, so I'll move to my last one, which is Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. She obviously wrote We Were Liars.
How about that one?
This one is getting interesting feedback on good Good
interesting.
reviews. Good lord.
Oh, you got your new website, goodreviews.com.
That would be so crazy. It's getting weird reviews.
And that
so
means...
I don't. It's okay. So it's already at a 3.9. Not too many reviews, but I'm shocked to see that under 4 stars.
No, We Were Liars is really polarizing. Like, people either loved it or they hated it.
Well, then clearly that's what's happening with this book, because some people are like, it's amazing, it's horrible. It's about reinventing yourself, but not, like, in a positive way.
Oh.
It's about Imogen, who's a runaway heiress, an orphan, a cook, and a cheat. Julie is a fighter, a social chameleon, and an athlete. And there's a murder, there's a romance, there's some blunt objects, blood and chocolate. This is literally what the Goodreads says. A girl who refuses to give people what they want from her, and a girl who refuses to be the person she once was. So it's kind of an interesting, really vague plot synopsis. So... yes, some people are like, this book is great, others are,
I find authors who write all over genres, it confuses me. I like my authors to pick a genre and stick with it, and I think that's some problem with people. When you pick up I've only read one book by her, so I can't really use her as an example, but like a Leigh Bardugo. When you pick up a Leigh Bardugo, you're expecting a good fantasy. I don't want a grief book or a coming-of-age book. No, that's not what I want from her. I like fantasy, so I think people that's what they think when they're picking up a certain person, and it's something else, and you're like, what's happening? So
this one definitely seems to have that element that I liked about We Were Liars, where you can't really trust the main characters in their judgment. So I think she's kind of like straight on the arrow with that one, but that was a really vague plot synopsis, so that could be anything at this point. But yeah, I'll pick it up and read it. I really, really liked We Were Liars, so yeah, I'm interested.
My next one is Little Monsters by Kara Thomas, and I saw it sitting on your desk, and I'm probably going to steal it when I go on vacation next week. You don't even remember that you had it. That is a shame.
I don't have anything on my desk called that.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Pick up your catalog, your calendar. So, it is the author of Darkest Corners.
Oh.
And she was a debut last year, and although I thought Darkest Corners, the ending was it kind of fell apart at the end, I thought it was a pretty good debut, so I'll give her another shot. I don't remember what it's about, though. I've already forgotten. Look it up on Goodreads, as Elise says.
Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly, why that's on my desk. I'm surprised that's one you wanted to read. Where did we get that?
A box of books. I don't know.
I have no memory of that. Apparently it happened. My last standalone is Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. This is her, like, anthology of fairy tales. I think she's rewriting them in her Grisha universe. Yeah. So that sounds really awesome. So yeah, that's my last standalone.
Excuse me. I also have that, and I have When I Cast Your Shadow by, what's her name?
Sarah Porter.
Sarah Porter. She wrote Vast on the Night. This is about a girl whose brother has overdosed, and he's haunting her dreams as a ghost, and he wants her to do stuff for him. Or I don't know if he's trying to inhabit her body. I don't know. But yeah, she writes weird stuff.
Which I like, yeah.
But she needs an editor that, like, no, you need to rein that in and finish strong. That's her problem. I think her world building is great, but she needs somebody to, like, tighten it up a little bit.
And just like Bassa, like, that's a really cool premise.
Yeah.
Very interesting. The cover looks awesome. I mean, she's got the goods. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. She needs some serious editing.
I also have Hollow Girl by Hilary Monahan.
I had that one, and I was like, this is a rando. Dawn's gonna be like, what?
Why do you care
that one does sound good. That one does sound good.
I forgot what it was about.
I couldn't tell you, but it's on my TBR.
I looked it up and everything, and I already forgot.
It's a dark fantasy, I think.
Is this the
it's
one
about
where
some girl who was murdered or somebody murdered her? No, I'm thinking of a different book.
That could be any book. That could be anything.
I'm so sorry. We'll look it up because we both kind of technically want to read it. While she's doing that, I'll just say Invictus, I guess, is a standalone, so I gotta move that from my series beginners list into my standalones list. Yes, that looks great.
So somebody attacked a girl and she wants revenge. It's like a revenge story. And she's going to use magic to do it. But I think there are some consequences to it.
That sounds crazy. I just added that to my TBR.
My last one is The Arsonist by Stephanie Oakes. And this one is a girl, her father is about to be executed. Her mother has, I don't know if she's died or not, but she moved into a house where a girl was murdered in 1989. So it's kind of like Dreamland Burning, where you have, I'm guessing, where there's modern day and then she's communicating with the past, and then together they solve some mystery.
Series beginners. First one for me, I'm going to give Renee Adia a try and read Flame in the Mist. It's about Mariko. She's a daughter of a prominent samurai. She is a accomplished alchemist, and it just sounds interesting.
Yeah,
the political marriage is in there.
Only one, so that's the only one on my list. She's being married off for political gain, and then they are ambushed and killed. Well, she's not killed, obviously, and so I think she uses alchemy to another revenge.
Yeah, she get closest to this clan and discovers their secrets, and I don't know. It sounds good. Sounds like something I'm interested in, so I'll give her a try on this one.
That's the only new series I have on my list.
The other one that I have is one that I haven't heard anything about, so this might be one of those that I just don't end up reading. It's not coming up on my Goodreads, but it's called Roar by Cora Carmack.
Yeah, I got that at home.
I think she's a YA debut. I'm not sure. I was going to put that in my debut, but I can't remember. It's kind of got some Sarah J. Maas vibes around it. It is a series. It's a fantasy. She summons storms. She's a princess, I believe. She's written books before, but they're mostly adult, erotica, which kind of makes me a little bit anxious. I know. When I saw that, I was like, ooh.
Erotica business ain't working for her.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about that. So I am, as of right now, going to give this a try, but I feel like this is going to be one of those books that I look back on the next time we do our TBR updates and be like, what was I thinking? So that's it for me for series beginners.
Alright, series. I have series middle, but I feel like that's not the correct topic.
Yeah, it's series book and 2.
Okay.
Or book and 2? Book 2 and 3.
I have Dragons of Nova by Elise Kova, and this is book 2 to The Alchemists of Loom, I think. Yeah. And this is steampunk, and she must write fast, because Alchemists of Loom came out in January. Yeah. And it's a world where dragons rule from above, but they take human form and they come down and kill the underlings under them, but the underlings are going to rise up and claim the skies. So if you haven't read Dragons of Loom, read it. It's great. Your turn.
My only book on this list is Tarnished City by Vic James, which is book 2 in Gilded Cage.
You can add that to mine.
This book is not out until October, so it doesn't even have anything on Goodreads to describe what it's about. But it basically picks up where Gilded Cage left off. There's a lot to sift through from the first book, so I will be very excited for that book. And that's it for me.
My last one is Immortal Reign, which is book 5.
Damn.
I think. Is it book 5 or book 6? Good God, I hope it's book 6. Of the Fallen Kingdom series. And I almost gave up on this until the last 50 pages of the previous book. And I was like, okay, I'll keep going. So, yeah, if you want a kind of a Game of Thrones type YA fantasy, I would suggest Fallen Kingdoms. We are currently at book 5 out of 6, so you almost can read the whole series in one sitting, if you're into that. That's all I have.
All right. Thanks for joining us as we talk about our TBR. Join us next time where we will podcast all of the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater, because I will finally be done with it at that point. All right, we'll see you in the next one.